Welcome to Breaking Biscuits, the experience. Today, Mark, we have part 2 of our innocent victims. Well, Mark, last week we talked about innocent victims, and we didn't get anywhere near the end, but we kind of ended about talking about next steps and how do you turn the ship around. I think is the metaphor that we used, because none of us want to stay in a victim identity, even though maybe we've been victimized in the past. So today we're going to kind of dive in and talk about what are some of the things that we could do, or what are some of the things how we should think about, and maybe some things we've experienced in life that prevents us from turning the ship around. But just to kind of stay with that metaphor, I wanted to start out with, if you just think about the storms in life and you think about a ship, and what happens if you're in a storm in life, regardless of if you cause the storm or circumstances cause the storm or someone else caused the storm. When you're in the storm, you don't really care. You're in the storm. Mm-hmm. But what would happen if we just kind of drop the wheel, so to speak, and just went and stood in the corner of the ship and just drifted and let the storm take us wherever it was going to take us, because we'll blame the storm for where we're at.
That's a good point.
And if we're blaming the storm and we just drift, the storm will take us to a place, honestly, we don't want to be. So turning the ship around doesn't mean that the storm didn't happen. It means that we refuse to let the storm choose the destination of where we're going.
So what I hear, first of all, you have your Kansas stuff on. I have an OU.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know.
We're representing today.
But if you like this podcast, we have tons of people watch this. But it would be really beneficial if you would watch it, subscribe on YouTube, share it if it meant something to you. This is our whole life story. We're telling everybody our life story 1 week at a time, 1 hour at a time. That's what we're doing. I like what you said, though. If I blame the storm, that's a victim language. Even though it's I was looking through our notes from last week, even though it's true, right?
Right.
I was victimized, but I'm not allowed. I can't get to the healing space if I keep blaming the storm or what I become because of it. And I think, honestly, you put a short out on one of our old videos last week and got the most views, and it was literally, "You are not what you've been through."
Yeah.
Speak on that for a minute. That's important.
It sounds cliche, but there's a lot of depth in that statement. Because anybody that's been through trauma, that's been through a storm of life, that struggles with anything, it's so easy to become the storm. Like you're known as the storm. You become the storm. You identify as the storm, and you just start to believe that everywhere I go, the storm follows. Meaning there's never any peace. There's never any calmness. There's never calm waters in my life. And it's so important to try to break out of that thinking. And I really feel compelled today to talk to those that might be the cause of the storm, so to speak. Like maybe we talked last week a lot about being victimized, but maybe you've created the storm in your life and you know it. And even if you created the storm, doesn't mean you have to stay in the storm. Nor does it mean you identify by the storm. It just means you probably made some really bad decisions in your life. And those bad decisions, you made them for a reason, you know, and I think if you keep looking of why, you'll find out probably there was some, you probably were victimized at some point in your life. Because we don't just randomly do this stuff. There's always a reason why we do the things that we do. But as men, specifically, I think it'd be cool to talk about this, Mark. I think as men, we take on the cause. Like, we're willing to step up and go, I'm the reason. You can blame me. I'm the screw up. I'm the one that causes the storms in life. I'll take that role. We're really good at that. And it might be true to some degree, but I promise you, for those that are in a relationship, you're not all the problem.
No.
Never is there one party that's all the problem.
I like what you said. If you let what you've been through become you, you get labeled as that. So we have this story in Mark chapter 5, and Jesus went to the Gerasenes, and there met him a man in the tomb, right?
Yep.
Well, you know what the church has labeled that man as? The madman of Gadara. All my life, that's all they said. So he got a label. And yeah, you can create, like you said, you can create the chaos in your life, but you're gonna have to land on one side. You're either gonna have to land in guilt, you say I screwed up, or in shame and says I am a screw up. That's the choice that we make. And that's a choice sometimes.
Well, especially when everybody around you is telling you you are a screw up. That's where it gets difficult. And we were talking about this earlier. I think our society has fed into that as it relates to men. I think I was just kind of give you an example. I was watching a basketball game the other day, and there was a commercial that came on, and I don't want to say the name, but it's the company that makes all these products for your car, you know, cup holders, floor mats, all that. So you know who it is. But what I thought was comical in the commercial, there was a family standing on a driveway, and the man's trying to get like 20 more suitcases in the back of his SUV that was already full. And the wife is just like looking at him like he's an idiot. The kids are looking at him like he's an idiot. Yeah. And then she has the bright idea to buy the product, which was a tailgate extender, to put it on there. She was the hero. He was the zero. And the kids agreed with mom. And the man was just sitting around like, yeah, I'm kind of dumb for not figuring this out sooner. And if you just look at what's marketed in our society, you look at sitcoms, you look at how things are presented to us, you will see that over and over and over again. And I just want to tell the men and the women that the men have a voice as well.
Yeah.
And they have feelings as well. And your man might hide his feelings through anger, but at the end of the day, he's struggling with who he is.
Just like her.
Just like her. And it was the storms of life that told him who he was. And we have to break that pattern, Mark.
My wife has been very good. Like, of course, Genesis 1-2-3 is my favorite portion of scripture, but God said he's going to make a helpmeet for Adam. And the word helpmeet is not a subservient or whatever you say. Like, I just do what you need me to do, like a secretary. But it's a partner. And me and my wife have discovered little parts of it, because we were in a situation and I don't remember what was going on. And I said, that right there, that's Eve. That's what you're called to do. That's to believe in me when I can't believe for myself. That's what a helpmate does. They don't do the dishes and the laundry and take care of kids. They tell their man, I know it's a rough day, but I believe in you. I believe in you goes. That's the whole motivation of our whole life.
What does it make you feel like if you know she believes in you?
Oh, man. It makes you kind of want to start believing in yourself. And the moment you start believing in yourself, I swear to God, your life will change.
Yeah.
And because everything that's going on around you is reflecting how you see yourself. And that's the mystery. And people don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
All the marriage problems by the woman being the helpmeet they're called to be. And they're not called to do the dishes and the laundry. I'm going to just say it again. But they're called to be a helpmeet and remind Adam who he is. Tell him to his face every day.
Yeah.
And people that we coach don't hear that. But I do. I have a woman and a wife in my life that tells me who I am. And I've told you before in the past that, like, I kind of believe it.
You're getting there.
I don't want to believe it. I'm pretty much believing it 100%.
Right.
But I've never been there before.
Yeah.
It's no fault to anybody. We weren't trained and modeled to do that. We were trained by our 1950s model where the man goes work, comes home, watches TV, Archie Bunker, goes to bed. The wife does everything. He mows the yard and whatnot, feeds the animals. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But in our world, I'm going to just speak to the men. You have no idea what it feels like for your wife to say, you are something. You're amazing. I believe in you. You have no idea what that feels like.
Right.
And if you do, you're probably successful.
So does the wife need something to say those words?
She needs the security, I think, and I don't know, but maybe the wife needs the security of knowing that she's his girl forever.
Yeah.
You know what
Which
I mean?
kind of goes back to the scripture. Our job is to love her like Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
So if we're doing that, then she knows that she's our girl. That we love her with all our might, soul, and strength.
Mm-hmm. And you can trust me.
And
you're my everything.
Yeah.
But then you have two broken people coming together. Even if she wakes up in the morning and tries to encourage him, it sounds mechanical.
Yeah.
Sounds like a scripture verse on the refrigerator. It's just done.
And if he tries to love her in his love language, which is probably serving or something like that, then she thinks, okay, what are you up to? What's behind this?
Yeah, what do you want?
What do you want? Yeah, exactly. What do you want tonight?
we have Max. Max is the funniest little guy ever. And he told his mom one day, he goes, you thinking what I'm thinking? No, she is not. Let me help the men out there. She is not thinking that. Calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get there, but she ain't not thinking that right now.
So Mark,
I think that's my life. It's like the believability, like I was today contemplating. I'm actually living in what I believed about myself my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
but I needed someone to believe in me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mystery of life. I just needed someone to believe in me. Make me believe. Help me believe that I am who I think I am.
Yeah.
That's not hard. But you can't look at your person through your own wound.
Right.
And then you'll be suspectful, be a detective, you'll be a lot of things.
Yeah. So is that a key to kind of turning the ship around, is finding your tribe, your friends? Obviously your spouse is important, but having, like as men, having other men that believe in us and we can talk to, that when we think of ourselves the wrong way, we can have that phone call and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. It's how I look at myself, and getting those sincere feedback.
100%. Bishop Miller used to say, the bigger the ship, right, the longer it takes to turn.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw anybody overboard.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient. The bigger your vision is, you have to take patience. But I can believe in myself, because obviously we all believe in ourselves. We have a dream, we have a purpose, we can see it, we work towards it. You will never be able to soar till someone believes it with you. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A friend that says, nah, I don't see that. You need a friend that says, yeah, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from, but this is who I see.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over. It's not going to stop.
No, and while you were talking, I don't know why this thought came to my mind, but it might help some men out there. So especially when we're talking to other men, we really struggle with being vulnerable and emotional, showing our emotions, showing what's really on the inside of us. And that's kind of what we're talking about right now is how do we do that? Because that's a key to turning the ship around. But one way to discern what's going on the inside of you, because men disguise hurt with anger.
Yeah.
And so if you're talking to your friend, your 911 friend, like, tell him what made you angry this week. Because underneath the anger, you'll find out this is what you're struggling with. Because this could be somebody, they got it all together on the outside. It's just a successful businessman. Everything's going great, money in the bank, big house, nice car, whatever. But what made you angry this week? What made you angry in your relationships this week? Because that's the things that get stuffed deep inside of you and just gets covered up. It gets compartmentalized, and we just never address it, Mark. We have a tendency to want to just avoid it because it's not pleasant to talk about. But as that stuff builds up, then the outburst comes, because the hurt comes to the surface, and we're just confirming that we've not turned the ship around. We're still in the storm, and we've not dealt with what's on the inside.
Takes a lot of awareness, takes a lot of courage. Take everybody that coaches with us, I write them a letter and say, you already did the hardest part. You made a decision to discover who you really are. If we're not healing people from stuff, we're trying to reveal people. We're trying to reveal to them who they really are. They got lost.
Yeah.
But that's a huge thing. Men hide behind lots of things. Probably more than women, but men hide, but they hide. And we've talked about this many times in the past, but it's become so prevalent that it's our cultural norm.
Yeah.
It's culturally norm for a man to get angry, right? And then the culture culture interprets it as, well, he's just passionate. No, that's not true. That's not
Yeah.
true. He's not passionate, he's hurting, and he's trying to push everybody out of space, but he feels very uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Oh my God. And I know it resonates with people that are listening to this. What I was saying is, we all have issues. I sit here with people that men desperately want their women to love them in a certain way, but they're not sure how to make that happen. And when it doesn't happen, I would like to go back to your point of this built up resentment.
That's good, because resentment is a real thing, and it's pretty prevalent in relationships, and it's based on disappointment, right? So resentment is, I'm expecting one thing and getting something else, so I'm disappointed, and my disappointment turns into resentment over time. And then once resentment takes a foothold, then you can't see anything positive. Everything is just negative and critical and horrible. So it's definitely a real thing. It's very prevalent, I think, in relationships. So I guess the question is, how do we deal with resentment if we feel ourselves starting to feel that build up inside of us? And obviously it comes out in anger as well. But I think it still goes back to shame, Mark, because if I feel resentment at a pretty high level, it's probably I'm blaming somebody else for my personal condition. Like
that's what a victim does.
And that's what a victim does. And that's what shame attaches itself to. And so it does come back, I think, goes back to the same thing. And I'm a poster child of this. What I typically do is use logic to determine who's right, who's wrong, who's at guilt, who's not. You know, I put the people that I love on trial with logic, and it just doesn't ever go anywhere. I mean, that's a horrible way to attack resentment and shame. Well, what do you think about when you think of resentment? How do you think through it? How do you get through it?
What we talk about a lot over here is unmet expectations. Create layers of resentment. And it's kind of unfair to you, and it's unfair to your partner, because they really don't know, and you expect them to know. And men are notorious for, I'm going to get up, take the kids to the park, mow the yard and whatever, but I'm going to expect some, have an expectation of something. Really simple, but we're complex like that. So I think unmet expectations is a huge part of resentment. Then it just builds and builds and builds and builds. I would bet most men, like the wife would say, "What's wrong?" You know what they're gonna say?
Nothing. 100% of the time. Nothing.
At the layer level where they don't feel like they can unpack it. How can I unpack that?
Right.
Because the truth is, they don't even know where it comes from. That's what we do in our coaching. We try to unwrap this, step backwards, and go, well, it sounds like you had an expectation, but you didn't communicate it. She had no earthly idea. And now y'all are in a storm.
Right.
And it all started from a little thing. So, I don't know, Toby. I don't know where we're going to learn all this. There's not a class in school.
No.
Not a college course. Don't always learn it in church. A lot of churches do really good at relational help. It's is there, what you're saying is there's men out there, I want to speak to the men out there, they're just frustrated constantly. When they get up, when they get home, when they go to bed, it's just frustrated.
Well, and I know this from experience, frustration can lead to numbing out. So they might not recognize the frustration, but if they're numbed out and just living like they feel mechanical, they're not living life. Once again, I think I'm a poster child here from the past. Living life means, I'm going to go pour myself into my vocation and experience life that way.
Right.
And experience the fruit of my effort that way. Yeah. That's not living, that's working.
Yeah.
And living life is living a life of fulfillment, of joy, of peace, and sharing that with family, friends, your mate. That's living life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've got some things written down, Mark, that I think we could talk about as we close of what men could actually do. And one of the things you've seen is men are reaching out to you for coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not doing this podcast to get you coaching clients. We're just trying to help people. But what we're saying is maybe you need help from somebody else. A therapist, a counselor, a coach, a friend, whatever it is. That's usually a first step. And like you said, that's the hardest step to take, is to take action. But if you're frustrated, you're numbed out, your relationship's not where it is, you feel mechanical in life, you have resentment built up, you're angry all the time, you don't feel like you're living out your true identity and potential, man, it's time to do something. Like, you don't have to live this way. You don't have to live this way. I don't care what the storm is that you were in. You get a chance to take the helm and steer the ship where you want it to go. But you have to take action. And having a hard conversation is a lot better than living in resentment.
Oh, that's a super good point. And here's what I tell everybody. Wherever you are in your life, how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Might as well do something new. Might as well try this, because guess what? You can always go back to this.
Yeah.
You can always check out. And that's what we're trying to convey to people, that there's a better way. That was well put. There's a better way. What I find is the men, especially, are terrified of vulnerability.
Yeah.
But the irony is, once they step over the threshold and find like people like us they can genuinely trust and keep their secrets for life and give them life experience, because we've literally, every person I've ever coached in my life, I have experience with them. And they feel safe and heard and understood. But when they cross that threshold, they go, what the world? Why was this so hard? Why did I wait 30 years?
Yeah.
So that's why Breaking Biscuits honestly really exists. And we've been through some places. We don't know everything, but we know something. And almost without a fault, I've been able to relate to all of our people some way, somehow. So final thoughts before you go, Toby. What's your thoughts? Wrapping it up.
The first thought I have is use the determination that you use in every area of your life, whether it's in the weight room or in business, whatever it is, but use that same determination to say, I refuse to stay stuck. I am not going to live my life in a way that's not filled with fulfillment and peace and joy. And I am not going to blame anybody. And I am not going to be a victim. I am going to put myself in uncomfortable circumstances where I am heard and trusted, where I'm heard and I feel trusted. And I'm going to open my life and heart up to someone else. And I'm going to work through the storms of life. That's to me what we have to do.
Well said. I want to say to the men, women watching, that's why we do. We want to be a safe landing spot.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we've done it for each other. And we still do it. And we do it every day.
Right.
But it's real, and we want to be a safe landing spot for people to come and just say, this is where I'm at. And honestly, that's 9/10 of getting through whatever you're going through, really. Because I think sometimes we get in our heads so much that we think we're crazy.
Yeah.
And you said last week, we get so in our space that we think something's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And nothing's wrong with you. It's not really, you're not even really broken. You're just in a space.
You're just stuck. That's all it is. You're just stuck. It's that simple. You're just stuck. Maybe from past trauma, from past patterns. You're just stuck. That's all it is. And you can't get unstuck unless you start talking. There's no
great reading this week that said, if you are in a pattern of a cycle and triggered, that is the greatest gift of your life. Because you have an opportunity to observe it, be aware of it, and work on it.
Yeah.
And never go back there again.
Yeah.
Man, good stuff, dude.
Well, Mark, I want to bring up, as we close, our Breaking Biscuits event that we have in Branson, Missouri. We've got another one coming up, likely in the month of April, and we've had several that have shown interest. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're in a relationship and you want to go through an intensive weekend, similar concepts that we share on the podcast, but a completely different experience. You know, it's like getting. We figured it up. How many hours? Do you remember how many hours of actual like work?
I think you told me like 26 or something.
26 hours that you get to do like real work, and it will absolutely change your life.
It's 6 months of coaching in
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had a little get together at the house this last weekend, and our first group that went through our Breaking Biscuits, all those couples came together, and it just filled my heart. They're doing well. They remember, and it was life-changing, and you can never relive an experience over again, like your first time experience. And it was just powerful and amazing. And they all, encourage people to come all the time.
Yeah.
So we just want to invite you to reach out to us on our Breaking Biscuits webpage. There's an info button, email button that you can send us an email and so you're interested, we're limited in space, and we'll give you information of when it is, but it is in Branson, Missouri, in an incredible location and facility, and you'll be with like-minded couples doing like-minded work, and we'd love to have you.
BreakingBiscuits.com. Check it out. But it's filling up really fast. We're filling up pretty fast. It's life-changing. Changed my life. I wasn't even sitting in the chair. It changed my life.
Well, Mark, do you have any closing thoughts before we check out today?
My only thought is not talking just to men, but to women, to couples, because that's what we do, is if there's any thread in your heart that says, I resonate with some of the things they say, then that's a point of God's luring you out of this mundane existence of go to work, get a check, go home, watch TV, drink beer, and go to bed.
Amen.
And He is luring you out of this. Or the wife may be watching and go, that's exactly what I want. But I always tell people, reaching out and deciding to go to Breaking Biscuits, you've already done all the hard part. That's a big step, because most people won't. So I just want to encourage people that we are exactly who you think we are. That's what I want to say. We're exactly who we present, who you think we are. That's who we are. And trust us. It's what do we have, Toby? How many years experience in this journey? Like, gobs. I don't know.
Between the two of us?
Yeah. Like almost 80 years or whatever.
Say almost 80 years.
Almost 80 years serving God and learning this journey. And what I always want to say is money back guarantee, but I can't, because I can't guarantee you'll do the work.
No.
If you come and do the work, it'll work. Guaranteed.
So until next time, this is Breaking Biscuits. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.